Well, the sun is starting to set here out in Redondo Beach in Los Angeles, but it's rising on the prospects of a few of our players now fighting for their spot in our top 8 of our April AGE Open. I'm Mitch Lacey here, joined by Michael Murray. I mean, we've seen some games. We've seen some games and some non-games. I feel like the last match that we caught on camera, that Dromai Kano match, I've never seen a worse side of the variance coin for Kano.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for the Kano there for sure. I joked with him that you were looking for blues off the top, right? When I walked by the table, he laughed a little bit, but not too much. I think he was a little bitter about the way his deck
Sure.
out.
I mean, that definitely didn't feel like a very comfortable game to have to play through. A lot of pressure coming in from the Dromai. We, of course, are about to jump into our next game. One of our players, of course, being one Evan Bridges. That's right, who runs the armories up there at Odyssey, so know him quite well. And again, Evan, I think, has put in some great showings at ProQuest and played in some pretty big tournaments.
Yeah.
He definitely simps a bit for Zachary Wallach, who is obviously part of the AGE Pro team and is out there competing today, probably on Dromai. Again, Evan, normally a Kano player. I see a lot. Boy, he plays a lot of stuff. He played Lexi at her best, Kano a couple of times, and now today is going to be on Kayo, going up against Fuzzy Delp on Katsu, the Wanderer.
Yeah, looking forward to this matchup. What do you think about who's favored here? Is it 50-50? Do you know anything about this matchup?
I mean, honestly, like it's pretty aggressive from both sides here.
Right.
You know, like I always want to think about like, okay, how impactful is Dishonor in this matchup? Maybe early. Like it seems to be, you know,
Yeah, if you
potentially
can get it off early, I mean, that can be back-breaking for the KO. But I imagine that the KO is probably not blocking anything until it comes down, and then you have your cards to block. But
I do think that Scaling Fleshbag can be back-breaking here as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, Katsu really needs his combo lines to be smooth and to be sequential, and obviously throwing a wrench in those works. You know, like that. We're going to try that again, boys? Love that. There we go. Fantastic forearms there, Evan. Must be a climber.
yeah.
What? I mean, they are. They're nice and defined. I have an eye for these things. What can I say? All right, so equipment was hardened cross strap for our KO player. Fuzzy also with the same piece, and it looks like a mask of the Pouncing Lynx. Oh, yeah, this one might not be a long game at all.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to end it as quick as possible, pop that cross strap, get those 2 resources, and send everything they've got.
Chrissy Ali, yeah, I'm hearing it 5-0, which is hilarious for so many reasons. Fuzzy, of course, one of the members of the Pitch It To Me podcast. Great bunch of people, great content. Make sure you go check that out on all your podcast platforms. He's got the Kadachis next to Katsu. That's, oh, okay, all right. I just bigged you up, buddy. Okay, that's cool. I don't have an issue. Again, so, yeah, look, okay. Ancestral Harmony straight away, looking for a combo card off the top. Found it. We'll have to see that. Again, this is on turn 1 here. Evan just Arsenal passed.
Yeah, Ancestral Harmony is one of those new cards I think players haven't quite figured out if they like it yet or not. Kind of demands you hitting a combo card, otherwise it's a bit of a whiff.
It does mean that all of your attacks with combo get +1 this turn, though. So that's pretty nice.
Definitely a good hit here, especially because this card has natural go again, meaning he can just play it out and continue the chain.
Coming in for 3. So this is virtually a red Descendant Gust Wave. Again, doesn't have the bonus of the surging sort of coming in before it. Ancestral Empowerment being played on that to try and overcome the block, but a no fear. I don't know if we're going to banish anyway. You might just be happy with the 2 damage prevention here. I don't see why not. Right? Okay.
Banishes an extra card.
All right. Banishing the Wild Ride.
It can't block anyway, so why not, right?
Yeah, that is a good point. Turning the Wild Ride into a card that can virtually block. Was it a Winds Eternity?
Yeah, so this is the combo ender for the 100 wins. So just coming in for 2, or for 3, because it's a combo card and it was buffed earlier.
That's right. It needs 100 wins. If so, it's going to be putting all of your 100 wins on the combat chain back into the deck. So,
and did Evan just go ahead and take that? Looks like it.
Yep. Start with the Wild Ride. Here we go. We did block last turn, so we are playing a bit more into the mid-range style. So this might be a Claw. Ooh. Oh, come on.
Good start for Evan.
Okay, this could be more than just a Claw. Okay, E-Strike being pulled into the hand here.
That's pretty great.
I don't hate following up this Wild Ride with a nice little E-Strike. We're going to get a Might token here.
He could also just choose to arsenal it. We'll see what he...
Is that another wild ride in here?
Yeah, so he would have to pitch one for the claw. I mean, he'll definitely pitch one of these. It's just a question of which one.
Yeah, thinking now on how we follow this. Fuzzy just took that, understandable.
Yeah.
I can see like a whelming gust wave in the Katsu's hand. Yeah, thinking now. Often playing off these small hands, if you are still trying to play that wild ride. Okay, no arsenal.
Just goes for the 7.
13 damage doesn't suck.
Excuse me, goes for the 5 and draw.
Ah.
A little bit more efficient when you're happy with any card in your arsenal. Sometimes that can be a bit of a whiff if you get a blue. I didn't see what he pulled, but he's happy to arsenal it and does.
Makes sense. Find something good. Play off that in your arsenal. It feels like a pretty darn good turn. Sending 11 damage over. Katsu's way.
That's 100 wins coming in. 3 go again. It says if he plays another 100 wins after this, it'll get +1.
Seems to be a deck constructed to benefit from that combo line. Again, the next 100 wins also comes in at a break point, not to mention breaking scales still being available. But no crack of the heart and cross strap. That tends to be the signal here. Oh, hang about.
There it is.
Okay. Here's the cross strap. Surging strike followed up, so that makes it free.
I really like this because he pulled a card from Evan's hand, which sort of indicates that he's probably not going to want to continue to block much. You know, the more cards he pulls, and this is 4 with a break point. I like that play a lot.
Yeah, it also means that he's probably sort of showing there's not really any 100 wins to follow up. This might be just like a surging strike gust wave line. Having the extra 3 go again. And again, like after your Kayo opponent is parted with 1 card, he's probably not feeling like giving too many more. Swing big in hand there.
Any no blocks?
Doesn't look, there could be a wind up there though, so not a great blocking card.
Using the gauntlets here. Getting a mite.
Descendant coming in.
Ooh. How many cards is Evan going to give up here?
See, this is a 5 go again for free because we had a surging strike before it.
0 for 5 go again. Pretty good.
Very good. We are well above right here.
And the potential to tutor for a card if this hits using Katsu's hero ability.
What would be bonds?
That would be my guess. So Evan deciding to give 2 pieces of equipment and a card from hand.
Okay, we have the whelming line here, but it requires surging strike to be the previous attack. So this is just a 1.
Evan just takes it.
Not sure if this, not sure how well this gets the job done here. I mean, plenty of block though, drawn out of the Kayo.
Yeah, losing all
Scabs
that
keeps it in front.
equipment this early is a good help to Fuzzy.
All right, heart and cross strap coming out here. I feel like
Bare
Fuzzy may be
fangs.
hoping for more from the cross strap turn, but Evan here is going to get that big old bare fangs.
The classic 1 card 10.
Yep. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. And well worth a cross strap turn here. For means you can really keep pace with your opponent. Fuzzy, really experienced competitor with.
I think he's got an Art of War. He's maybe just looking to take the damage, and there it is.
Okay, put the Breeze Riders in front.
Yep.
I mean, again, this build of Katsu can be so explosive with that Mask of the Pouncing Lynx.
He has an Art of War in hand too, so this is really scary here.
Oh, Be Like Water definitely going to hit if that's the case. I
Yep.
think I see it too.
Yeah.
Again, there's something to be said for a Katsu player not opening with Kodachis, but because this is a Pouncing Lynx build, they're less important.
Yeah, this turn's going to be very big, and he overblocks it.
Like that a lot.
Very smart from Evan, playing around the pump.
Again, Be Like Water does not have combo, so you cannot use breaking scales on that. Here's Descendant. This is just a Descendant, so only 3. Pack call. Given that one. That was a CNC off the top.
Evan playing very measured, mid-range game plan.
He really wanted that Be Like Water to be a surging strike. Having to pay for that Descendant, pitching a whelming. Could have been a lot of ways this turn went, if not for the overblock from Mr. Bridge. It's very heads up.
Yeah.
And here's the
that was
whelming.
a smart play there. Just for 3 on this one.
goodness, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, I think Evan blocked very, very intelligently with those boots.
Okay, and that will be it by the looks of things. Fuzzy moves to Arsenal. A very middling turn there, shut down because Be Like Water could not be anything but the way it was printed. Here's a Might token pop and Assault and Battery from Arsenal.
Is that one red or blue? Can you tell?
Looks blue to me.
Okay. Should just be for 5. Oh, for 6 with the Might.
The Might token. No beat chest.
No beat chest, that's right. Just another vanilla 6.
Fuzzy's taking a lot of damage to try and make these turns happen here.
Nice efficiency playing the agility token on his own turn, getting the Might out of that as well.
Was that a Wolf of Wall Street reference? Oh, no, it wasn't. It's a beat chest one.
Right.
Great scene. Great scene. All right, here we go. Surging Strike. We like this.
And another threatening attack. This time, Evan doesn't. Oh, he still had. He could block with the rest of his equipment and 1 card to stop this on hit.
No combo on Surging Strike. Just go again.
No breaking seals, but we do know that he has an Art of War in Arsenal, so 5 block would not be enough to stop this if Fuzzy wants to push that through.
And Fuzzy obviously needs to hit in order to tutor these cards out of his deck with Katsu. Evan, very wary of that, has been sending back some incredibly above-rate mid-range turns, single attack actions that, while maybe not having huge threatening on hits, are just large.
And he just goes over block by 1. Really respecting. Oh. No, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. For a second, I thought that was the Ancestral Empowerment.
Whelming
Whelming is still threatening and potentially 1 card and an equipment. It's a very tempting block here, but...
Yeah, obviously if it hits, it will draw a card for Fuzzy.
Yeah. And he's got the agility and the Might that he doesn't want to waste, so giving the whole hand here would be a very difficult decision to make.
I mean, can he really make use of agility at this point? He
No.
doesn't have like a
With
tunic
2
up
cards
for
in
draw
hand,
here.
I don't think he can, so wouldn't be that much of a waste.
Wants to at least make the... Okay, we are out of warring here.
Yeah, so no blocks into an Art of War. This is getting scary for Evan. It's lucky that he has such a high life total right now because he's going to lose a lot of that this turn.
We banish the bonds to draw 2. And obviously we get +1. I guess a little efficiency loss as it's not happening on that first attack, but wouldn't have done you a whole lot of good there anyway. Tenacity, that's probably pitch fodder. This does not give Living Legend points, Silly Miller. Our Players' Championship and also our last monthly will be a PTR event. So yeah, there will be a gold coalfall and Living Legend points will be assigned. Yeah, I think the Surging block was an interesting play. Like often you just kind of let that go through or just give it 1 card.
Sure. Well, seeing that he had the natural gust wave, it could have turned into a Bonds turn, which, you know, I think Evan is trying to stop this Katsu trigger as much as possible. Really afraid of the tutoring and on hits that can go so wide and so dangerous with Katsu, but he may have just gotten through anyway.
All right. Looking at the dishonor there. We are going to be getting a Bonds of Ancestry. Again, if a Gust Wave card came before this one, it costs 2 less to play. It only costs 2. It has Go Again. It says when this attached, you may banish a card with combo from your graveyard and search your deck for a card with the same name. Banish it, and then you can play it this combat chain. So we are searching. Oh, sorry. We also popped the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx here, so we get to look for 2 cards.
It looks like he might be thinking about the double Bonds turn.
That means you need a Gust Wave in between the bonds, right?
Correct, and that's exactly what he pulled.
Yeah.
He was choosing between the Whelming and the Descendant Gust Waves there. Put the Whelming out. Sorry, put the Descendant out, pulled it back, and then went for the Whelming.
Whelming feels fine again.
Yeah.
That is a Breaking Scales target, one of the better ones.
Sure, and he'd rather try to draw that card than have the +1 damage.
Here comes the bonds. 0 for 4, go again. Banish a card from your graveyard, get a card of the same name to play. Definitely some thinking needs to happen here. Either way, this is shaping up to be a pretty punishing turn, with Evan already offering a 2-card block on the Surging Strike card that didn't have an on hit. Definitely giving a window to the Katsu here to push through some of these frustrating on-hit effects.
One interesting choice about the Descendant was if he chose that, it would turn on the Dishonor, but without a Descendant Gust Wave on the chain, the Whelming Gust Wave does not activate the Dishonor, meaning if he chooses this, it will just be a vanilla 4 damage. Still a lot of damage to push at the end of a chain, but not that threatening on hit that can turn off the KO hero ability for the rest of the game.
And I guess like, how much is the rest of the game, right? How much are you really denying the KO if you Dishonor him here?
Well, I will say if he decides to go for some kind of, Wild Ride go again, and then he hits a 5 off the top, that's no longer a 6. It can be very brutal.
Yep. All those 5s end up being bricks from there on out.
Yep. But it seems like he values the drawing more, so he went for the Whelming instead. And it looks like he's also using his boots. These will, when he uses them, allow all of his combo cards to gain go again for the rest of the turn. So anything he plays on the chain.
It requires a ninja attack to hit, but looks like Bonds was no blocked. Here's another Surging. And we know what comes after that. Whelming Gust Wave. Again, this is 3. Threatens a card draw, though.
So maybe he didn't have another Bonds in the graveyard to pull, which is why he pulled the Dishonor. It's an interesting choice, because that would only be for 2.
Yeah, it's got to follow a Bonds. Otherwise, it's just a vanilla 2.
Yeah.
But again, it's 2, but still has it on hit, right? Because you have a Surging Strike, a Descendant.
He doesn't have a Descendant. He only has a Whelming.
That's a Bonds there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not that exciting then. Evan Bridges at 11 life, but Fuzzy's petering out here a little bit at the end of his combo. Have we declared blockers on this? Has he drawn a card rather off this Whelming yet?
I think we're still waiting for blocks on this. Evan's deciding if he wants to give up the whole hand.
Because you're really hoping for a...
He says... Oh, okay, so maybe he did already draw then.
Okay. Here's the Dishonor. With
An
no...
Interesting choice to block like this. I wonder if he thinks that it's active.
I mean, based on the contents of the combat...
He overblocked that. He blocked 4.
I see no Descendant. Either way, it's not Fuzzy's responsibility to convey that.
Yeah.
Maybe Evan just wanted to preserve a bit of life. But...
Agility 2 mites.
Bye-bye.
Means claw for 5.
Yeah, and no more to follow that up. No extra resource to turn this into a bit of a decent team.
I can imagine Fuzzy just laughs at that and goes on to another 5-card hand.
Okay, I mean, this is pretty big. Man, Evan really offered up so much on that last turn. I mean, we don't think that Dishonor was turned on necessarily.
Right.
And now he has a very middling turn, just the claw. Fuzzy can come back around and another Ancestral Harmony here. Or it's off the top. Combo card? Nope. It is not. Still, all of his cards with combo will get that +1 this turn.
Sure. Has the potential to be a blue for 4 if he plays 4 combo cards. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, big time. Okay, Whelming blue. Now the Kadachi's make an appearance. Evan is really not priced into blocking those yet. Spinning Wheel Kick. For 5. Again, you need another Spinning Wheel Kick, ideally. All it does is get +1 and get put back on the bottom of its owner's deck if it follows a Twin Twisters or Spinning Wheel Kick. Right now, just 5. 1 for 5 go again is acceptable. Yeah, if that's a hurricane technique in us, that is fun. You need rising, I think you need... Oh, okay, it's not hurricane technique, sorry. Is that Cyclone Roundhouse?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, hurricane technique doesn't care about the Spinning Wheel Kick. So Cyclone Roundhouse says, if Spinning Wheel Kick was the last attack of this combat chain, this has, at the beginning of the reaction step, banish a random defending card from each chain link. Now, no defending cards here, but still, it's a 6-power attack, threatening that lethal against Evan. Not that Evan's going to really put any equipment in front of this because he can't. So.
Oh, and we see the reckless swing here.
Okay.
Hitting, dealing 2 damage.
Not irrelevant here.
And going to 2. 2 to 8. 2 cards in hand.
All right.
And he's got the swing big, so that's threatening lethal. We'll definitely pull at least 1 card from Fuzzy.
Probably just that, though.
Probably just that.
I think we are Mega Kodachi locked.
Excuse me, he didn't have a blue. That is
what
you want to see in this spot.
He is in trouble. This is a win and in for these players. Reckless was good there. Sure enough. Just a claw. Ancestral gets in front of that one. Oh, that's devastating.
He randomly discarded his only blue.
Oh, my goodness.
He really needed that.
Could have been. There's that little bit of variance. There's a Lord of Wind. Okay, all right. Kodachi it is.
Oh, no. And now he's Kodachi locked. Evan Bridges is locked out of this game. If he doesn't die this turn. And there's his Blood Rush Fellows. I forgot he even ran that card. You didn't see any of this game.
Mugenshi Release. Okay. Evan has to play around any potential pump.
And there's his hand, and we do it again.
Run it back until Evan completely runs out of the capacity to block here.
Yeah, he's in the spin cycle now.
Yeah, there's no like way Katsu just stumbles here. Still put together. Yeah, okay. Have that card and Surging Strike. What about this one? Okay. What about another attack action?
Yeah, that's it.
There it is. There is the game. Fuzzy Delp gets there. Honestly, some interesting turn cycles. I wonder what world we live in if Evan opts just to let that Dishonor through instead of offering cards and giving up all that tempo. I don't know what you see in the chat. Pretty sure that wasn't turned on.
Yeah, I think that might have been a misplay on Evan's part. He must have assumed that it was turned on because otherwise, why do you block 3 damage in that spot?
Yeah.
So I'll have to ask him after this game.
Yes, if we have a chance to chat. It was a quicker one here, so no reason why we won't be able to pull Fuzzy in for just a moment and have a bit of a word with him. But for now, that looks like Fuzzy Delp has potentially secured his place in the top 8 here. I never say certainly on these things because Gem can, spit out different results to what you expect. But great to see potentially Katsu make it through. Sorry, Evan, but you're playing Kayo, mate. Like, I don't know what you want. One of the only 3 Kayo players here.
Yeah, and before this game, I was speaking with him, and he said he was worried about bubbling out in 9th place. We'll see what happens, but I know he has an infinite number of top 9s according to his player profile. So maybe he can continue that infinite number here or get luck into a top 8.
Yeah, well played by Fuzzy. I mean, Fuzzy I think's only been playing the game for maybe a year.
Wow, really?
A little bit. Yeah, no, definitely like, I wouldn't call him a newcomer anymore, but definitely not seasoned veteran like the opponent sat across from him. I think he was missing a Descendant Gust Wave in order to turn on that.
Yeah, well, we saw him pull a Descendant Gust Wave, think about it, and then switch it for a Whelming Gust Wave. So I wonder if that's what threw Evan off.
Quite possibly, yeah.
So I don't know.
I'll have to ask Evan if he realized that. Anyway, we're going to go to a break. We'll come back. We'll pull Fuzzy in for a moment, have a quick chat with him. We'll see you in a soon.
Welcome back. With us, we've got Fuzzy Delp, who just took down a KO on Katsu. That was a quick game. There were a couple moments I want to touch on. But before I start asking those questions, I'm just curious, like, how you feel after winning that game.
Shaky.
Shaky.
I think I got somewhat lucky in that I was able to put on enough pressure that he couldn't cast any of his power cards. I never saw him cast Cast Bones or Blood Rush Bellows, and those are typically the cards that I'm going to lose to because they can overpower me. But I was getting some pretty good draws together. I've tried to build my deck to be really consistent, and it's been working pretty well for me today. So
yeah, no, that felt consistent. I mean, the lines you were throwing out, 5-card hand after 5-card hand, and I didn't see any bricks there.
Even down 15 life, right?
Yeah.
33 to 15.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can still pull this out when I have all of my equipment. Each of these equipment are secretly 5-6 damage each. So
yeah, actually, I think the turn that you evened up the life totals, you ended that with a Dishonor. And we just spoke with Evan, who thought that Dishonor was turned on, gave me a little tear when we explained that it was actually 2 Whelming Gust Waves, not a Descendant.
Yeah, I think both Evan and I got a little lost in the sauce there. I definitely thought it was turned on too. I probably announced it as such. So
that's all right.
It's
up to him to be able to read. So
yeah.
it seems like both of you.
And he did read it too. He looked at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what ended up, at least what I saw, was that you were thinking about pulling the Descendant, and then maybe somewhere in there you were like, I'd rather draw the card, or maybe you just got confused or something about that.
Yeah.
But regardless, the Dishonor was not on, but he still blocked 4, and that seemed really helpful because it turned out he had, a Command and Conquer in Arsenal and needed the extra card to be able to play it, was not able to.
Dodged a bullet there. There's been a few times today where I'm recognizing like small misplays that my opponent made where it happened to work out in my favor to get me the win. So I feel a little lucky to be here right now. I also feel like it's like luck is the opportunity and then skill is taking it.
Absolutely.
Right? So I've gotten both today. Well, I've been playing pretty well.
Everyone knows that card games, you need skill and luck in order to get to the top. Which kind of brings me to my next question, which was, I think you actually asked if we could ask the chat a question.
Oh, yeah. So for context, I was really big on Mask of Momentum for the longest time. Like, it's a very fun card with Katsu because you get to draw extra cards for the course of the game, right? But I'm realizing Mask of Pouncing Links is much better to the point where I completely cut Mask of Momentum out of my list. Even against Dromai, I was running Mask of Pouncing Links today because it's the only one I have. And I was able to beat Dromai with it today. If you line it up with an Art of War turn, you just get a lot of value. But Mask of the Pouncing Links has, I think, a higher form of skill expression. Because
it's a tutor. You have to think about every single card in your deck.
Right. At all times.
All times.
Any turn you have could maybe be like made stronger or perhaps just saved by the the Pouncing Links. So I guess my open question is like, I'm probably going to go back and watch my match because it's an awesome learning tool. And I'll be there like probably watching the live stream from before. So if you type in chat, if you know a line that I missed that I could have done better, I want to hear about it so I can like get better and find those lines next time. Because I know I'm missing stuff. There's so many options and I just have so much more to learn.
So open request for chat. Any Katsu mains out there that saw a line that maybe he didn't take, we'd love to hear kind of what you think about that.
Yeah,
and
I need the help.
Yeah, we're all here to learn. We're all here to get better at Flesh and Blood, the viewers and the players alike. Anything else about that game that you thought stood out?
Cyclone Roundhouse is...
that was an interesting one. I'm not used to seeing that.
I know that some other Katsus are running it. Like I was talking with Tyler Horsepool last month, and he mentioned that he's on spinning wheel kicks for sure, and that he was like kind of iffy about Cyclone Roundhouse. And I was looking at my list yesterday, and I actually cut Salt the Wound for it. Salt the Wound is a pretty classic like synergy with Mask of Pouncing Links, but I'm finding that like I really want to use Mask of Pouncing Links to grab my combo pieces, not just damage. So I cut Salt the Wound and added one more combo piece because I'm like, one more combo card that could I potentially flip off the top with Ancestral Harmony, give me a little bit more edge against like hopefully pulling a combo card. And that was the first time I cast it today.
Yeah, is the text on that relevant? I think it says that you banish blocking cards from the chain.
Yeah, when you attack with it, when you go to the reaction step, you banish a blocking card from every chain link. So if there's equipment later early in the chain link, you can banish the equipment. If they blocked with something from hand before reactions, you can banish one of those cards on the Cyclone Roundhouse.
Oh, okay. So it actually enables it to hit or push more damage.
That's part of why Evan used Reckless Swing. Because he was at 6 life?
Okay.
Maybe? I think he was around 6. So if I'm coming at him for 6, if he blocks with one card, he's still taking 6 because I'm banishing that one card.
It's almost like a route. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
So you can actually banish a card that's already blocking and gain the damage off of that.
Yeah. But it will never banish a reaction card
Sure.
because the reaction comes in after the trigger.
That makes sense. Wow. I don't think I fully understood that. It's such a niche card that I haven't I never understood that line, but it makes sense why you choose to bring that one in.
Spinning Wheel Kick is a really interesting line for the same reason as like 100 Wins. It's a combo at every step of the chain. You can just run them as combo cards. So when all we care about is getting more combo cards in the list, those are really versatile for that reason.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I think there's a couple other things. I see that you're wearing this shirt here. Can you tell us a little bit about Pitch It To Me podcast?
So we put a lot of work into our show, so I don't want to call it a casual podcast, but we really love the game from a design perspective. And we recognize there's a lot of people out there that really enjoy the game of Flesh and Blood without necessarily getting too involved in the competitive play. Lots of current Flesh and Blood podcasts right now are all about how can you become the best competitive player? What's the competitive scene looking like? And there's a reason for that. I listen to a lot of them. They're great shows, right? Because there's
Keeping
so much
up
of
with the meta, keeping up with the pros.
the way that it's always evolving. It's always great to.
It sounds like you have a
listen more
little bit
about
of a different tilt, though. What's your
Right.
angle?
We focus on design. We're looking at every time there's a set release, we're looking at design trends. We talk a lot about limited play, like what are the different patterns you see in limited, and sometimes we bring up custom card designs from our own to kind of imagine what the
wow.
future could be.
So you're just brainstorming over there.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
we cover a lot of different topics on our show. It makes it a little hard to summarize, but if you ever feel like you're not the most competitive player, our podcast is literally for you. You're our target audience. We're making this show for you.
Yeah.
And we love for you to listen.
And you told me, is there a giveaway or something going on?
We're hosting a custom card design contest that we're running for most of March, and submissions for our contest close tomorrow, Sunday, April 7th.
If you've got ideas for a card, go ahead and submit them to Pitch It To Me podcast. That sounds like a very exciting contest you've got going on. Is there any kind of pricing or anything
Yes.
like that?
There's 3 different categories, and first place for each category gets one of our t-shirts, a box of heavy hitters, and $40 from Metal Fab Tokens. And the contest is sponsored by Metal Fab Tokens and Fabric.gg.
Awesome.
And you can get to our contest by going to our website, pitchittomepodcast.com, or you can go to our show on youtube.com or Spotify or Apple Podcast, and you should be able to see a link to our show there.
That's awesome. Wow. Love seeing the content that our community creates. That's phenomenal.
Right. There's so many brilliant minds playing this game, and I'm so excited to see the kind of card designs that people come up with.
A complex game pulls in those brilliant minds.
If you were to design a card, what do you think it would be?
If I were to design a card, okay, putting me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Let me think for a moment. I've been really interested, as a Kano player, I've been really interested in the space of how do we allow wizards to exist in an interactive way? I haven't quite figured it out, but I know that this 0 for 3 block or things that sort of are able to interact better with arcane damage. So I think I would probably create some kind of blocking card that can just block damage in some kind of flexible way to allow wizards space to breathe and exist in the game without relying so heavily on arcane barrier. The red line decks get kind of screwed by that.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in that type of design.
A little bit of interaction towards wizard would go a long way towards us seeing more diverse wizards down the line.
Yep, and that's because I love wizards. It's my favorite class to play in MMOs and playing it in Flesh and Blood. But I like playing Flesh and Blood a lot. I love the interaction. That's kind of why I'm on Guardian right now, because it's this mid-range deck. If there was a mid-range wizard, I know we sort of had Icelander, which really fit that, which was awesome. I kind of want more of that. And if we could get some cards that interacted with Kano, at least on that axis, that's what I'd want to see in this game.
100%.
Cool. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Or are we...
I think that about covers it. Thank you
All
for
right.
having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Congratulations on your win. I think that makes you locked in for the top 8. So
I think I was technically locked already.
Okay.
But I'm certainly in a better seat
double
now,
locked.
so
We've got the double barrel shotgun heading into the next couple of rounds. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to go into our longer break while we set up for top 8. And we'll switch over to the top 8 stream. I think we're going to put the link in the chat. Okay, first we're going to announce it, and then we'll tell you how to get there.
Thank you, everyone.